Scientists just found a frozen T-Rex. Just 6 days ago, a scientist from California was on a...
So, this is bullshit. I hope we all know at this point that that is bullshit, but let's kind of go over how we know this is bullshit. So, kind of the reason we're going over this is not necessarily that I think people watching this video are going to believe it, but like my video are going to believe the one I stitched, but I know there are going to be people out there who do look at this and believe it. So first thing you want to look at is the OP. Now, go here, you look and see fun and fictional mythical creature stories. So that gives away right away that this is not actually legit information. It's a fictional, almost 100% AI generated video, just specifically to get views. So, like, videos that come up on For You page like this don't show the context of the account behind it all the time. So if this just came up on your For You page, you're not likely, unless you're already following them, you're not likely to go look at the original poster, in which case it wouldn't say in the video that this is fictional mythical creature stories. So you're missing the context clue that would otherwise say, hey, by the way, this isn't real. So there are going to be people who are like, holy shit. Another helpful context clue for that is looking at the tags on the video, because often, like, if they're not intentionally trying to convince you this is real, there will be tags like story, fake, fiction, or AI. So look at the hashtags, and if there's any of those, then that is a clue that this is not a legit source. This is not a legit source, and it's probably, like, just posted for clout. Next thing to do is the who, what, when, where, why, how. All of that. Look for those in the video. If it's missing most of those, then it's probably fake. Or if they're not necessarily missing, but incredibly vague, or no paper trail comes up. So, for example, the who and the what and where and stuff are either missing, vague, or just false. So, for example, the who in this is at first incredibly vague, just a scientist with no follow-up, but then they mention Kai Leonard, the scientist. Now, if you look up Kai Leonard, the only thing that comes up is a basketball player with a slightly different name going, do you mean this basketball player? So just a search for Kai Leonard doesn't bring anything up. If you search Kai Leonard T-Rex, then the only thing that comes up is that TikTok video. So for all intents and purposes, Kai Leonard does not exist. And you may say, like, okay, well, maybe he's just a guy. But if it mentioned that he's a research scientist, so at the very least, some credentials or publications or even a scientific article should come up, especially with a discovery like that. Now, the next bit is a slightly bit more niche, but look for, like, inaccuracies in, like, the methods and the kind of why. Because in a scientific expedition, especially one doing, like, ice core samples where you need a lot of very specific equipment, it wouldn't just be one dude going at the ice with a chainsaw. That's not how it works. It would be a full team of researchers, and then there would be grants involved, there would be, like, project proposals and all that. There would be, it might be slightly harder to find for the average person, but there would be a paper trail. Also with, like, scientific methods, in order to get a good ice core sample, you don't just go at it with chainsaws. As well, with paleontology digs especially, it's not going to take just, it said 19 hours going at it with a chainsaw. For a T-Rex to be found in the ice that well preserved, it would have to be ridiculously far down in order to avoid all of the ice melt and stuff, so it would be too far down to do any of that, most likely. And again, with this type of stuff, You need to file reports and claims and like do a whole thing. There's so many bureaucratical, is that a word? Hoops to jump through to even to begin to excavate something like that. You'd need to do like proper storage, proper documentation. You just can't go at a chunk of ice with a chainsaw and uncover a T-Rex. That's not how it works. And also, why is the tooth found away before the rest of it? It was just a tooth. And then the entire T-Rex. What happened to the tooth? Why is it up there? So, yeah, if you ever see a video like this, make sure to fact check it. Like, fact check it if it's claiming to be true, and if it's not explicitly claiming to be true, make sure you just look at where it comes from, because you don't want to get bamboozled by an account that posts fake stories but not explicitly saying them in the video that they're fake.